The air in the underground arena shimmered with heat and tension. Dozens of alien species crowded the rusted metal tiers, shouting in a dozen languages, betting on who would walk or crawl out alive. Jax Renner stood barefoot in the ring, chest rising and falling, blood streaking his jaw. His ribs ached like shattered glass, every breath a stab of pain. Across from him stood a 7-foot-tall alien female with armor-like skin and molten orange eyes that burned like twin suns. They called her Serra the Bonebreaker. She was a warrior from the planet Tyr, bred in gravity 3 times heavier than Earth's. Her kind didn't fight for sport, they fought to test worth. And right now, she looked down at the human as though he were a dying animal. "Stay down, flesh weak," she growled, voice deep and resonant. "You've already lost half your ribs. Another strike will crush your organs." Jax spat blood and grinned through it. "Yeah, but you missed one." The crowd roared with laughter and bloodlust. Serra's mandibles flared, a sign of both fury and curiosity. The humans who came to Tyr were rare, reckless mercenaries or desperate gladiators. But this one, he fought differently. No armor. No augmentations. Just sheer nerve and the grin of someone who'd already made peace with pain. When she lunged again, Jax barely dodged, rolling over the cracked sand floor. Pain flared white-hot through his torso. He was done. One more hit, and it would be lights out. And then she did it. A sharp, brutal kick into his side. The sound of bone snapping echoed through the arena. The crowd gasped. But instead of screaming, Jax exhaled, shuddered, and laughed. Serra blinked. "You mock death." Jax groaned, pressing a hand to his side. The pain was gone. He looked up, confused, as warmth spread under his skin. He flexed his ribs experimentally, solid. Whole. He looked back at her, disbelief mixing with gratitude. "You just fixed me?" The arena went silent. Serra froze. "I did what?" Jax grinned weakly. "You healed me. Guess your kick hit something right." Serra stepped back, unsettled. "That is impossible. My strikes destroy, they do not mend." "Well," Jax said, standing slowly, "either you're terrible at breaking bones or you just saved my life." The crowd murmured in confusion, their bloodlust replaced by intrigue. Serra's gaze flickered with something new unease. The human should have been dead. Instead, he stood tall, no longer bleeding, no longer broken. The Matchmaster's voice crackled through the speakers. "By Tyran law, combat halts if both combatants live after fatal injury. This fight ends in anomaly." The arena lights dimmed, and the crowd erupted not in rage, but in stunned excitement. Jax limped toward Serra, extending his hand. "Name's Jax. I don't know what just happened, but thanks." She didn't take it. Her orange eyes narrowed. "You are no ordinary human." "Neither are you," he said softly. And for the first time in her career, Serra felt something she'd never felt before. Curiosity. Middle. They met again 3 days later, not in the arena, but in the med bay deep beneath it. Serra stood at the doorway, her massive frame barely fitting through. She carried a long staff, the mark of a Tyran commander, and wore no armor. Jax lay on the medical slab, shirt off, revealing faint luminescent lines spreading from his healed ribs. They pulsed like circuitry beneath his skin. She stared at them silently. "You are infected." He chuckled. "You say that like it's a bad thing. These showed up right after your kick." Serra frowned, stepping closer. "Those lines, they are Tyran regeneration filaments. No human has ever survived contact with our biometal." "Guess I'm built different," he said lightly. She studied him. Her people had experimented for centuries to merge their regenerative cores with other species, but every attempt ended in death. Ka'ren biology operated on plasma-energetic cells that burned at temperatures human organs couldn't withstand. Yet somehow, this man had adapted. "How did you come to TYR?" she asked finally. Jax hesitated. "Contract work. I was part of a salvage crew near the border worlds. We stumbled on a wrecked Ka'ren cruiser, half buried in asteroid ice. I tried to help the survivors, but there weren't any." He paused. "Found a capsule, though. Cracked open when I brought it aboard. Inside was some kind of liquid metal. When it touched me, I blacked out. Next thing I know, your soldiers dragged me off-world and threw me into the pits." Sarah's gaze hardened. "You trespassed in a warship grave. That metal was sacred essence, the core fluid of the fallen." "Didn't exactly see a warning label," Jax said dryly. She ignored the joke, stepping even closer. "Your body has merged with the essence. That is why you healed. But it should not be possible. Human cells should have burned to ash." Jax met her eyes. "Maybe I got lucky." Sarah shook her head. "There is no luck in genetic law." The tension between them thickened, curiosity twisted with something else neither wanted to name. She was trained to view humans as fragile, short-lived, emotional creatures. But this one had survived something that should have annihilated him. "What happens if this essence spreads?" Jax asked, glancing at the glowing lines. "Then you will cease to be human," Sarah said. "You will become something new. Something our kind once feared." He smirked. "Sounds fun." But she didn't laugh. "No, Jax Renner. It means the Ka'ren Council will hunt you until you no longer draw breath." That night, alarms blared across the outpost. Sarah found Jax standing on the outer ridge, staring into the sandstorm that carried electric sparks and atmospheric defense field. "They're coming for me, aren't they?" he asked. Sarah nodded. "The Council has ordered your capture. They want the essence extracted before it bonds further." "Extraction," he echoed bitterly. "That's a fancy word for dissection." Sarah's mandibles twitched in conflict. "If they discover that I am the one who triggered your healing, they'll come for you too." Silence stretched between them. The storm howled, lightning splitting the dark horizon. "You could hand me over," Jax said quietly. "Save yourself." Sarah's gaze burned. "Do not insult me, human. A warrior protects the life she altered." He looked at her, this towering alien warrior who could crush him with one hand, and felt something unexplainable. "Then what do we do?" She turned toward the northern dunes. "There is a shipyard beyond the crater wastes. Old vessels from the war. If we reach it, you can flee TYR before dawn. And you?" She hesitated. "I will distract them." Jax shook his head. "No deal. You're coming with me." Her eyes widened slightly. "You command a Ka'ren general?" He grinned. "Not commanding. Just asking." "Nicely." Her mandibles curved, the Ka'ren version of a smile. "You are reckless. Comes with being human." Ending. They rode into the storm aboard a scavenger transport, sand slicing the windshield like glass shards. Ka'ren patrol lights glowed behind them, closing in fast. Jax gripped the controls, pain burning through his side again. The biometal under his skin pulsed brighter, responding to his adrenaline. "They're gaining," Sarah said, bracing herself. "Not for long," Jax muttered. He slammed a lever forward, triggering the engine's overdrive. The craft roared across the dunes, lightning flashing above them. But a plasma shot from behind hit the rear thruster, sending them spinning. They crashed hard into the sand. When Jax awoke, Sarah was already outside, staff in hand, facing 3 approaching Ka'ren soldiers.